Okay, I think we're live. I need to just... Okay, I'm sideways. I was trying to be clever and try and do it non-portrait, but clearly that's not going to work. I'm glad I can look at myself on the laptop over here. Clearly that's not good. Hello, Amy. Hello. Yes, I'm horizontal. Yes, sorry, Mum. Yeah, I was trying to do so last week. I discovered that you couldn't flip it over and it would only do portrait. So I thought if I started the live, landscape, it might let me do it landscape if I put it when I put it up in here. But obviously not. It just Substack doesn't like it like that. Hi everyone. Hiya. Just see who's coming in. Hi Amy. Hi Lamorna. That's my mum. Hi. Hi Freddie. Okay, so I've had to go portrait. Never mind. That's fine. I'm just going to say hi here and then go put the camera up here so we can see flat on the table. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah. So just what we're doing today. So what I'm doing today is this is called a Techo Kaigi. So Techo Kaigi is just a Japanese phrase that roughly translated means planner meetup or planner meeting. And it can be a planner meeting with yourself or with other people. Hi, Louise. Nice to see you. So Techo Kaigi just means planner meeting. And so kind of around the kind of journal planner community in the last few years, it's kind of been adopted as a way of describing what the little video is that you're doing. So generally you kind of overview what worked in the previous year or previous quarters, because some people journal and plan a hop. I don't tend to be one of those people, but so going through kind of what worked for you in the previous year, and then what you want to take forward into the next year, and seeing which planners you want to use for that. So let me just see who else is here. Hi, Joe. Great. So I'm assuming no one said that they can't hear me, so I'm assuming it's all good. Now, there are a few, you'll see in a minute, but there are a few names here that are either Japanese or Asian, and I am probably going to butcher those names, and I apologize. The pronunciation is difficult, so forgive me. So you can see already I've got this big pile of the new planners in front of me. So I'm just going to awkwardly take the phone and face it down on the table. So just bear with me a moment while I do that. So that's... Okay, so I'm a bit delayed on what I've got on my screen in front of me. And sorry, the feedback, sorry. So let's try and get this more in the center. And the chat's gone away. So I'm having a good day. Okay, so hopefully you can see that there's less of my lap in that now. Okay. So, yeah. Everyone, that okay? Just about? Bit wonky? It is hard to do this when you can't just already set up your camera. Hopefully in the new year I will do a better setup. Okay. So this is a lovely, quite small actually, stack of planners and journals that I'm going to be using in 2026. So I'm probably going to hop around kind of with the newer things and what I'm using at the moment, kind of compare the two things. Now, let's go. Let's just start from the top. Let me put this off to one side. So this is a Hobonichi Weeks. The Some of you may have heard of the Japanese planner company called Hobonichi. There's lots out there in the planner community over the years about how lovely they are and about how their paper is really nice. So, hi Georgina. So the paper quality of a Hobonichi is usually really thin but really strong and really nice to write on. So what got me into Hobonichi a few years ago was that that paper quality because I switched between using a fountain pen and just a regular gel or biros. And this paper, while it's really, really thin, as you can see and hear, it can take those really well. However, there was a bit of a controversy the year before last on the paper. The paper quality went downhill. There was kind of there was inconsistencies, and the fountain pens didn't work quite as well as they used to. On here, I think they've fixed that now. And yeah, in last year, I used a Hobonichi Weeks as well. It was the first time I used it. And the paper was okay. Like sometimes the fountain pen, sorry for the glare, sometimes the fountain pen didn't work as well. But it wasn't too bad. So here's the pen test that I did last year, the beginning of this year, of all the different things. And you can see that there was only a couple of things that started to bleed through, and that was with the fountain pen ink. So I just tended to avoid that as much as I could. So let me just have a look at the chat. Okay, hi Georgina. Okay, cool. So yes. So this year I'm going to be doing using another Hobonichi Weeks. It worked really, really well for me this last year. Let me just go through how it's laid out, and then I'll show you some key bits in the old one. Hi Amy, Amy, you just got my Techo, and the pen test I did took about anything that I use. It was all good for you, the pen test, Amy. Which Techo did you get? Let me know. So a Weeks is great. It has, the normal kind of overview of the current year, the past year, and the year ahead. There's this kind of planner section, and then you get into the monthly spreads. Now, the monthly spreads are really useful for me. I have to have a planner that do I need to come down slightly? I'm going to try to come down a bit so that there's a bit. Let me just see if that worked. Okay. So you can see a bit better, hopefully. So yeah, I need to, in my kind of planner that I want to be able to use the zoom function. Oh, well, I don't think I can do that on my phone when it's up there. yeah, I need something I can throw in my bag that is small and lightweight, but that has a monthly spread and has weekly spreads as well. That's what I'm trying to say. So these are great because, yeah, the monthlies are here and so are the weeklies. It is quite small. So let me just find one in, whoops, bits falling out. Let me just find one. Well, this is the current one. So you can see that there, I don't have small handwriting. So I can't fit loads in, but it's good enough to kind of, if there's an appointment I need to pop in, then I can pop it in, and then put it into a weekly spread if I need to. So yeah, there is that. Georgina's asking, do you only use a single planner or several for different purposes? So that's very interesting. We'll get to that. This year, I only use one, but in 2026, I think I'm going to be using two. So bear with me. Amy got the A6 daily planner. Okay, yeah, the Techo A6. Yeah, lovely. So it's got all the monthlies in it. Then it goes to, and it gives you a couple of extra, it goes up to March in the next year, and starts actually now, it starts in December. So I could actually move into this planner now if I wanted to. So the weekly spread is really nice in here. It gives you the horizontal week across like this. It doesn't just give you the weekend in one box. It separates Saturday and Sunday, which is great. And then it has a whole right-hand side page for notes and things like that, which is really good for me. So let me find a bit that I can show you. So this is how I tended to use this year. So I would do a line down this section here, use the right hand side, these little boxes here, just to kind of either for kind of evening stuff or to make a note of where my partner was in case that kind of impacted what I was doing in that day. And then I would use the main section, these kind of bits here, to either plan out my day, make a note of what I did that day in case as a freelancer I needed to invoice for it. And kind of just put timings in and things like that. I would then use the right-hand side, or I do use the right-hand side as a kind of a to-do list. So let's just see. So sometimes I would end up with lots of space and I didn't necessarily use it as a to-do list. So I would stick stickers in, maybe even pictures of stuff that I did that week as well. So this kind of has ended up being a bit of a small memory keeper, as well as a planner. So sometimes I go back, if I'm planning the next week, I go back to the last week and kind of fill bits in so that when I'm actually doing my proper memory keeping journal, which I'll come to in a minute, I can make notes from this one. So that's how I use the weekly spread, and that has consistently worked for me throughout this year. And the size has been really good. What else is in here is you get to the end of the weeks and then you have a big note section here. So there are 75 pages. Yeah, 75 note pages, which is quite handy when you're out and about. And this is kind of like what you've popped in your bag. They have a funny measuring thing. So actually, I have used this a couple of times to measure some things if I was out. And then they have a couple of like list kind of things that I don't tend to use. Like you can have a favorites list, 100 top something or others. Oh, they've got a new thing, memories. Okay. I don't tend to use those bits. So what's quite nice with this one is that it comes with a pencil board, which is quite useful when it's thin paper, to lean against and it not indent the next. Measured your yarn with it, Joe. Yeah, that's what it was. We measured your knitting. That was useful. Yeah, so it doesn't indent the next page. Although I used this as I was going along this year up to a certain point, and then it was getting so chunky and indented anyway, it didn't really matter in the end. But this is quite useful as like a bookmark anyway as well. So this new one came with this one anyway because it went with the theme. So this is the name I'm going to sadly butcher, so I'm sorry about that. So this design is by Japanese calligrapher Yuichi Inoue. I think it's Inoue. I'm not completely sure. It's a really beautiful cover, in my opinion. Kind of speaks to my artist books, poetry writing, asemic writing kind of brain. So the poem that's actually on here is, it's in Japanese, obviously, but translated, it kind of means "Be not defeated by the rain," and it's by poet Kenji Miyazawa. And yeah, "Be not defeated by the rain." That's quite nice. That sounds quite nice. So that's a lovely design, and that's what I'm using for 2026. So, as Georgina was asking, is this going to be the only planner that I'm using next year? When I first bought this, the answer is yes. But what I did last week or the week before was I actually bought, just move that out of the way, is this even going to fit in the... It's not even fitting in the camera. Oh, now I have to go back up again. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, a large scale B5 planner. So B5 size is in between A5 and A4. So A5 is this kind of a size, and A4 would be kind of up here. This is a Pith notebook or planner. Beautiful. Pith is a company who makes sketchbooks in Berwick-upon-Tweed, and their paper. So I had a notebook this year that I was using, just a kind of a catch-all notebook, and it's the paper was just gorgeous. So I was like, this paper is just really, really nice. And I discovered kind of a few months ago that I was really comfortable with the B5 size. I really like to not be restricted by the kind of the page. And I really kind of was thinking about this year being having a lot more to plan in a way. Some of you may know already that this year I quit my job of 9 years, and so I've kind of gone back to being a freelancer, and so to me that means a lot more planning of my day and to-do lists that aren't contained in like a work environment. So I was thinking that look, the colours are really similar. I was thinking that my Hobonichi weeks just wasn't going to have enough space. That, this kind of layout just wasn't going to be able to fit enough in for me, and that the kind of the monthly layout was just the boxes are going to be too small for all the stuff that I wanted to fit inside. So I'm thinking that the 2026 Hobonichi Weeks is going to be my what we call an everyday carry. So in the journal planner community, this is an EDC is referred to a lot. Everyday carry is what you pop in your bag, basically. And it's so it's small and light enough, and you can put all the information that you need into it, and then refer it into other journals or planners if you need to. And then use this large pith planner as kind of a desk-based planner where you can kind of go quite wild, and I can do big handwriting or fit loads in. For kind of more of my freelance and artist kind of life in the studio. So let me just have a look at the chat. Is that a quattro? Oh yes. So pith have these different sizes. They don't call them the normal, the normal international paper sizes. No, I think, does it say it in here? I thought it was oh no, maybe it is yeah, maybe you're right. It doesn't say, and I'm not completely sure. I will, when this goes on the replay, I will let you know. But it is pretty much a B5, which is an international paper size. Oh no, it's slightly bigger. This is okay. This is a B5, so it's slightly wider. In fact, it's going to be as wide as an A4, but not as tall as A4. So, okay, it's B5-ish. It's pomelo. No, I thought Joe Pomelo was the smaller one. Oh, it is a pomelo. Okay. Thanks, Joe. Okay, my sister has checked, and it is called a pomelo. It's the Pomelo 2026 planner from Pith Supply. It's 260 by 210 mil. Thanks, Joe. Okay, so let me just show you inside. Gorgeous, gorgeous paper. So the paper is much thicker than the Hobonichi. So Hobonichi tend to use what's called Tomoe River paper. It's not actually Tomoe River paper anymore. It's a Sansa paper because the Tomoe River paper mill closed down, and they sold their stuff to this new company, which is why they had paper issues last year. Anyway, so it's a really, really thin paper. This pith paper is that they make it, and it's gorgeous. So you can see, I'm not going to be able to fit the whole month into the camera, but you can see that a monthly spread is across the 2 pages. These boxes are nice and large, and it's such a nice kind of minimalist layout. And with this paper, you can kind of get really artistic with it and kind of use different markers and art materials on it if I wanted to, which is quite nice. I'm looking forward to that. And so, yeah, so we've got, you can see it's kind of got a dot grid down the side here, which you can kind of make a list if you wanted to. And then these boxes are kind of open, but with a really pale kind of dot grid across here to separate out the boxes, which obviously you can go over and make more bold if you wanted to. So let's have a look past the months. Okay, so we get into the weeks, and the week is across the whole double page spread. I didn't think about this not fitting on the camera. Um, and again, the week has a kind of like a to-do list bit bar down the side, and then that kind of travels across the whole week. And there's like checkbox bits down here, and a nice kind of bar at the bottom, which you could use as well. So I'm looking forward to using this. Joe says want it. Yeah. Well, I was inspired by Jo because she had the smaller version of this for this year's planner, which is that kind of a B6-ish kind of size you were using, Jo? I think it was like smaller than A5, wasn't it? And yeah, so the weeks are just like that, which is going to be lovely. I'm going to be able to like have a to-do list for each day if I wanted to. I suppose this could be also timings. Actually, how many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's more than 24. So you could use it as a 24-hour appointment thing as well if you wanted to. So whole thing of the weeks up until the middle of almost the end. Yeah, the end of January next year. And then just like with the weeks, there's the overview of this current year and an overview of the next year, which is great. And then there are a few pages of blank or dot grid paper at the back. Not loads. I think there's about 10. I think I counted the other day. So not loads, but that'll be handy. So those are the two planners that I will be using in 2026. I haven't decided how I'm going to set this up yet. There's quite a bit of kind of setting up to do with the Hobonichi. I don't know if anyone else has ever kind of set up a Hobonichi before, but it's quite useful to kind of do these tabs for the monthly bits, and then use these kind of metal tabs that are removable. Let me just show you. They're really thin, and they grab hold of the paper, of the thin paper really nicely, so that you can kind of turn to your current bit. So I've got a few of those tabbed for different things. I've got a book wish list at the back here. I'm trying to avoid the Christmas list here. I've got a tab here for exhibitions to go and see that I've been using all year, which has been really handy. And this is just in the note paper at the back. So I need to do basically the same thing in the new one and set this up. And I haven't decided if I'm going to put this clear cover onto this one or not yet. We shall see. But also, what I was putting my weeks into was this little carry case thing that kind of protected it a bit more, and also allowed me to put a pen on the pen loop here. And you can stuff bits, stickers and note paper and stuff in that. But it did make it's quite chunky now. Because I've been using it and sticking stickers in it all year. So I don't know if this will end up in here or not, or if it will just end up with the cover. Don't know yet. That might be another video. Hi, Emma. Hi, come on in. So there's kind of setup stuff that I want to do with this, but not today. If you're interested in the metal clips that I'm using for the Hobonichi, it's these Midori ones. So they're called index clips, and they're by a brand called Midori, another Japanese brand. They come in these two different sizes. They also come in different colors. I think they do silver, gold, and brass. I think these are the brass ones. And they're just really nice, thin metal clips that slide over the pages really nicely. And they're kind of really unobtrusive, but they stay put, which is really good. I get these they're in different shops, but I can put links on the replay. but these kind of, when they get restocked, they tend to sell out quite quickly. My mom is saying, can I have a packet for my birthday? Yes. Okay, if I can find some more, yeah. And what stickers are you using for the month dividers? Oh, yes. So good question. So these stickers here with the January to December, these are actually a traveler's notebook, traveler's company set. So we haven't got to traveler's notebook yet, but if you're unsure, traveler's notebook are the company that do these leather journal covers with the elastics. And they have a sticker set that they bring out every year. And the sticker set includes tabs, and they include, I think these are the small tabs, and then there are a slightly larger set of tabs which probably wouldn't fit in the weeks. I think they kind of maybe half a centimeter bigger. So they include those, and they include kind of dot stickers and some other kind of sticker things. But I found that these are really hard wearing. They've been in here the whole year and have lasted, and fit. They fit the weeks really nicely. And Amy, I think you said you're using an A6. I think this year, Hobonichi have brought out their own tab set. Because they kind of didn't before. I'm not sure if they actually say the months on. I think they just have the numbers. And actually, the numbers are on the back of these ones, of the Travelers Company ones. So you could have numbers or the months. So yeah, have a look into the Hobonichi tabs as well, if anyone in the UK is still selling them, because I think they would fit. They're designed to fit the A5 and the A6. Yeah, but message me if you're wondering where to look, because I know lots of places. Okay, so that's that question. Right, so those are the planners. I'm just going to pop them over here, and then we're going into the journals. Now, these are probably not the only two journals that I'm going to be using, but some of them will be carried over because they're not necessarily they're not necessarily dated in the way that a planner is. So I'll show you in a moment. This year I have been using the Hours Studio journal as it kind of started as my gratitude journal. Let me just try and go down a bit more. Gratitude journal, but it's kind of turned into my main memory keeping journal. Because before, a few years ago, I was just using an A5 Hobonichi Day Free, actually, because the paper was nice. To memory keep in without kind of being bound to having to use a page every day. But I was finding that was also too much. It was just, I was getting out of practice with it. Not out of practice, but I'm just going to, before my phone dies, I'm just going to plug it in because I forgot to do that. I forgot to do that when I put it up here. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I was finding it too much. I would just miss out whole weeks and things like that. So this year, this 2025, I have been using the Hours Studio. So not just as a gratitude journal, but as my memory keeping journal. So I have another one for 2026, but let me just show you the current one. So it's got a bit chunky, as you can see, because I put photographs in it. But it's not, it's not crazy. Some of the notebooks that I used to memory keep in, let me just see if I can grab one. off the shelf behind me, you can see. So this was a Hobonichi notebook that I used for 2023, 2024, apparently. You can see that got really chunky and wavy because I was kind of painting in it. There was mixed media, lots of photos, lots of bits stuck in. So it hasn't quite got that chunky, not as badly as one of these. Anyway, so our studio is really lovely brand. They call this one the Research Project Weekly Journals. And it has both monthly and weekly layouts. So let me just switch to the new one so I can show you the layouts as a clean kind of surface. Hi, Angela. Bye, Georgina. Thanks for coming. So you get the overview of the year. And then you get into a monthly, which is a nice kind of, so this is A5, by the way, sorry. You get into a nice gridded, fairly minimalist monthly layout. The Hour Studio, they're a company that kind of do designs of stamps and stickers and things like that as well. So their Hour Studio has this really nice specific design every year, and they do little illustrations throughout the book, and I'll show you. So each month for this one, it seems to have a gemstone of some kind or a crystal, which is quite nice. I wonder if it's the birthstones. It's not sure. I have to have a look. And then you have a little page that says plans for 2026. I didn't actually use this this year. And then we get into the weekly plan. So what's really interesting about this journal is it has a completely kind of different layout to quite a lot of the journals that are out there. You can see, I'm going to have to move it across backwards and forwards. It's split into little sections, basically a grid, a grid of 8, with the bit at the beginning being the number of the week. So, it goes, this is week 27, and shows you which month it's in. Has a little cute illustration. This one says a good start. Then it has some dotted lines, and then each day of the week has its own section that has the date, the month, the moon phase, and the day of the week. It has a blank bit at the top here, and then some lines. Now you'll see when I show you my 2025 that I used the boxes, but it kind of didn't really, I didn't fully utilize like this section being a drawing or a photo and then writing here. I kind of went a bit off piste. Bye, Amy. Thanks for coming. So these are the weeks, and there's a cute little illustration in each bit. What's also really nice about this journal is that you can see that each week has its own little color, like paint note, like palette swatch thing, and the colors are related to the little illustration that's here, but that's all the way through, and that's really nice. And then they have different things in the back. So each year it's different. So it's what's called the free note section. So this year, this design is new. We didn't have it last year. This is what they're calling specimens of daily life, and it's kind of a little frame where you can maybe put a picture and then describe what's going on with the date and things. So I think there's 12 or 10. Maybe there's 10 of those. Then it goes on to the next bit, which is called gift notes. So they did have this last year or this year. And I've been using that as a gift log, although I'm behind with the gift log. But that's quite useful to kind of keep a note of kind of what you've gifted to people. Yep. So there's that. There's a few pages of that. I don't think I give that many gifts. But then there's what they call a card folder, which they have had this before in previous ones. There's a bit here with who you're with, location, date, and a bit for either writing or picture or something. And there's a few pages of those. Then there's what's called free notes, which is just this nice gridded bit of paper with a border. And then we'll go into the colour notes, which they've had before as well, which is quite nice to kind of do little swatches and say what the paint is that you're using or whatever it is that you're swatching. That's quite nice. This one also has a measuring tape at the back. Useful. This comes with lots of different I'm saying a lot. I apologize. Lots of different postcards and little cards, and they can kind of slot into the cover. So what's nice about our studio is it comes with a clear plastic cover, but also inside that, I can just wrangle that out, is the paper cover. And can you see it's got these little notches? There's a small one here where you can tuck one of these or something else that you've got, like a business card or whatever, or something you've created, into these 4 bits, and then you can close that and it's behind there. Or you can do one of the larger ones. And so you kind of can change it out throughout the year, which is quite nice. And I have been doing that with my current one. So yeah, my 2025, I have been, you can see I changed the cover. I added some washi tape to it. I put the date, and I have been every few months I've got loads and loads of postcards that I've collected over the years, just because I like them, and they don't always get on the wall. So they've been kind of going in here every now and then, which is really nice. So I've put just tabs here on the monthlies, but to be honest, I hardly ever use these tabs, so it was kind of pointless. But I'll show you what I've been using the monthlies for. So I kind of decided at the beginning that I wasn't going to use them as a planner kind of a thing, but I was going to try and use them as vision boards for each month. Now, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to keep up with it every month, but it was just, I knew that I had a space that I could do a vision board if I wanted to for the month ahead, or even kind of retrospectively make notes on what I thought worked that month or something like that. So I called that Visioning Possible Futures. I'll show you one of the ones here. So it's not completely full, obviously, and I quite liked writing in different ways around and just adding doodles and adding pictures and things like that, and really kind of using it like more as a vision board. Some of the others I can't really show you without censoring quite a bit, so I'm just going to show you that. And then I'm going to try and find. Okay, here's a spread that in April. So you can see that it's kind of turned into memory keeping. So there's images. I tend to do either 1 or 2 photographs, and then a little bit of journaling, either for what I'm grateful for that day or for that week, or just what happened that week. So I found it really useful that this is kind of, if nothing happened on one of those days, it's fine. I can just use, the two boxes for one day, or I can just be quite general with kind of stuff that happened that week. And I don't have too much space to have to use. And so I've been able to mostly keep on top of it. Yeah, I found that quite handy, as a what's the word? As a system, I guess. So I am a little bit behind. This is kind of how it starts out. I do tend to kind of add my own numbers and things, and I tend to cover up the week number there, but then I put it in again with my own writing or whatever. So I am a little bit behind on it currently, but generally I've been able to be quite consistent. What I haven't really used much of is that bits at the back. So you can see they're slightly different to the ones that are for next year. This one had recipe notes. Haven't used it at all. I did use the GIF log. But it's not up to date. And then there's the colour bits at the back. I haven't used those either, not in this one anyway. So that's the journal I'm going to be using in exactly the same way this year, this coming year. And then the other planner I was going to journal I was going to show you is the Sparkle on Substack planner. So some of you who are watching will probably already know about Claire Venus. Claire runs Sparkle on Substack and Creatively Conscious publications. And she at the moment is giving away her Substack planner PDF for free. You can download it for free on her website. Go over to Sparkle on Substack or Creatively Conscious on Substack, and you'll see somewhere a link to it. So I downloaded the PDF and got it printed and bound into an A5 planner. It does come, you can make it A4 if you think you want something bigger. Now, I haven't started using this at all, but I do want to kind of use it as exactly what it is, a Substack planner, basically. And I think this will be quite useful to kind of keep Substack plans separate to everything else. I mean, not completely separate. I'm sure there'll be bits in the to-do lists of my main planners that I'll be using, but this is quite specific to Substack and kind of visioning what you want to do and what's worked. Reflections on the last quarter, reflections on how the year's gone, the intentions, that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to using that. So that's basically what I'm going to be using in 2026. Like I said before, I've been going on nearly an hour again. Apologies. Like I said before, there are some journals that are just going to be coming with me into 2026 that aren't new, but are being currently used. These probably deserve their own little video, but I'll just kind of show you for now. I have my ideas notebook, which is literally just an exercise book that I keep on my studio desk. This is literally for any kind of notes on my artistic practice, what I'm doing, that kind of day, that week. It's got measurements in. It can just be kind of like a scratch pad kind of a thing. It's got little sketches in, but like really basic sketches. And it's somewhere I can kind of dump those kind of ideas in a visual or note-taking kind of a way. And it's quite, I'm not precious about it, which is why it's just a cheap exercise book that I've stuck some things on because I don't want to be precious about it. So that's obviously coming with me into the next year. Then I have what I call my research notebook. It's my artistic research notebook. I don't think it's what people call a common planner, but I guess it could be. I don't know. So it's not just the book, it's this whole kind of folio thing. I have this lovely vegan leather folio from Lowton and Horn, but they don't really do them anymore. But it's really nice. It's got this pocket at the front where I stuff kind of postcards or bits where I've gone to an exhibition and I want to keep the information that goes in here. And then in here is the notebook itself, and then bits and pieces, photographs and things that I want to end up in here or end up somewhere. And they go in there. And then, so this has been my artist notebook or research notebook for 3 years now. It started off life as the Hours Studio journal from 2023, but I didn't use it. I didn't use it as much as I thought I was going to use it, and I didn't use it. There was hardly anything in it. So I decided, like halfway through 2023, to start using it as my kind of artist's research, kind of making notes. I did start kind of making notes on the week that I was kind of in, because it was still on that year. And then quickly realized that because I was working on an almost full-time job at the time, I just wasn't using it as much as that. So I took it with me into 2024 and again into this current year. And it's now almost full, but it does mean it's not chronological at all. It is sporadic. I just open it and find a blank or a blankish page and start using it. Now that does mean I've had to kind of create an index system. This is the current index system, which is Post-it notes, page numbers. And now that it's almost full, I'm kind of starting to kind of collate the index properly so I can put that in there. So my artist research notebook, what makes it different to my kind of ideas catch-all thing? Finding things must be hard. Yes, it is, but then I am doing this index thing. So actually it's not too bad. And the pages are numbered. So the kind of things I put in here are when I've been to an exhibition and I've got like the pamphlet thing, but I've got pictures that I've taken as well and stuff that I want to write about, like make notes about maybe what inspired me. Then those go in here, and then I write about them. So exhibition visits, particular artworks that I've come across, and like the names and kind of notes of where I've got them from. Then there'll be kind of important things about my artwork that I don't want to forget about, notes and sketches and imagery, inspiration. Then there's things like the books that I've been reading, like the non-fiction books. There'll be quotes in here, bits from those books, bits from videos that I've watched, new art materials that I've tested out, and kind of the notes on those tests. Sometimes there's bits where there's something I want to maybe make an artwork for a particular event or something, and that like the information gets put in here. Ideas that maybe didn't end up in this one. Then there's some artists that I follow who do really nice. So Robin McClendon is one of the artists I follow regularly, and this year she's been doing this pause thing. So every week there's a pause, and she talks about what she's kind of pausing for within her art practice. And articles that I've read and made notes on, workshops that I've been to, or workshops that I've been to online that I've made notes for, etc., etc. I have a bibliography at the back here, which I'll probably take into the new one whenever I use a new one. And then I've used the kind of the color notes. I started using the color notes at the back. Yeah. So Lamont is saying, so I could make a separate index booklet for my 12 felting journals so I can find notes on previous wet felting projects. Yes. Yeah, why not? I think indexes are really, really helpful, especially if you've got a consistent kind of note-taking, body of notebooks, and you know that there's some things that you might want to refer back to. I think that's a great idea. So that's one of the ones I'm bringing in with me into next year, although it is nearly full, so I probably will have to set up a new one. And the other one I'm going to bring in with me into the next year is the Traveler's Notebook, which I use as a junk journal at the moment. So I have my junk journal inserts that I make myself out of bags and papery bits and pieces. So this is a complete one, but I'll be bringing this into next year with me as well. The inserts tend to last a few months. So yeah, I could go on to a whole load of sketchbooks and things like that, but I think that's a whole separate thing. I think planners, etc., is slightly different. Yeah, anyone else using any of these? Or they're kind of looking forward to getting into 2026 and using different planners. Do you find that this is like a crazy number of ones to keep going with, or do you use more? I would love to know. There is also another one staring at me from my desk, which I'll just show you because it's the season. So this is my Christmas journal. It's a very junky, very thick Christmas journal. Lots of bits and pieces in. And I will be kind of adding to this for this year, and probably adding from last year because I haven't properly put all the bits from last year into it yet. So I might do a little video if anyone's interested on that. I kind of tend to add things like my card lists and the kind of what gifts I bought people for that year. And then like bits and pieces that I keep, like bits of packaging, Christmas cards that were particularly nice, that kind of thing, goes into here that I don't want to lose. Lots of people do what's called December daily. There is no way I could do a daily journal for a whole month. Like, that's just crazy. So this is over several years. I think this is like 2016 to now, and it's not full yet. I mean, you can see it's kind of bursting, but it's not all the pages are done. So yeah, I find this more achievable this way rather than doing a daily thing. Yeah. Joe says, I love my smaller pith planner, but I often find it too small. Kind of want both the small and the large. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this. This is, every day in my bag, take it with me everywhere, kind of a thing. And then, the desk one. Angela says, I like the index idea. I have so many planners and journals, sketchbooks on the go. Yeah, I mean, I think we all do as creative people have lots. Sketchbooks, just, there are so many. Like, we would be here all day if I went through them all. And we're not going to right now. And I probably have missed out some journals as well. There are probably other things. And I mean, there is also this kind of thing of what is a journal and what's the difference between a journal and a sketchbook? What's the difference between a journal and a planner? And I think it's just how you use it. And maybe for some people, it doesn't matter what they're called. They're just books. And sometimes they're just notebooks. And yeah, I think as creative, artists and people, we all tend to have quite a few different ones on the go. And I think that's okay. But I'm hoping that this 2-planner system works okay next year. I am a little concerned about that I will end up putting some information in one and it won't end up in the other one when I need it to. But then I think, I've been quite good as a predominantly analog person, putting all my digital, from digital calendars or whatever into an analog system. Been quite good at that. So I think having two should be okay. We'll see how it goes. I'll do an update in a few months. Lamona says planners to fill in rather than a daily one. What do you mean by that? You mean kind of use the planner as a journal as well, like I kind of did with this current one. Yeah. Joe, that's what I'm thinking too. Hard to collate the two. Yeah, hard to collate the two. Yeah, there's definitely no way I'm taking this out and about. It will definitely stay here. But I think I need the for me, I need the space to spread out, and and be able to write a messy to-do list that gets added to, or plan out a complicated day that has multifaceted day, because I'm a freelancer and an artist. And then some days are going to be completely blank, and that's okay. And I think I also just love this paper. It's so smooth. It's so nice. And I will take kind of nice, because I can't just have a bog standard, just use one pen, one color planner. I can't do it. I'm visual. I need more colors. I need stickers, as you've seen. I need things to make it fun. So I think, and that will happen in both of these, I think. Because I was finding there's not enough space in this, and this will have a lot more space. So yeah. I think probably wrap it up there, as I've been going for exactly an hour. Right. So yeah, if I'd love to see what you guys are using, what you're going to be using in 2026. If this has inspired you to go and kind of decide on some new things, that kind of thing. I will do a wrap-up post like I did last week, and kind of do some links for some of the stuff I mentioned, like the index tabs and these particular planners and things. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with you guys. Have a lovely rest of your day. As you can see, the light is going. It's dramatic. It's getting darker in here. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks Angela. Thanks Joe. Bye everyone. See you soon.